Okay, I'm so sorry.
Welcome to Rants and Rabbit Trails. I'm your host, Morgan.
And I'm your host, Pearl, and this is your host, Jules.
Jules, the man of the hour.
Not him just leaning down like he's gonna bite me.
He's like breathing over your shoulder. The man of the hour, our third host, Jules. Perfect. Welcome,
Amazing.
welcome, and happy Halloween!
Shimmy, shimmy, ooh.
Shimmy, shimmy, ooh. Shimmy, shimmy, trick or treat. Ooh. Happy Halloween. Welcome to the Rant and Rabbit Trails first annual Halloween special. Anyway,
our favorite fucking time of the year.
The best time of the year. So, in the spirit of Halloween, we have some creepy, spooky content that we're going to share with you today. I have no idea what Pearl is going to share.
Classic me switching things up at the last second.
We roll with it. I have some Reddit Ouija board stories.
And I have a collection of spooky stories from some of Reddit's most beloved spooky subreddits, such as Let's Not Meet, Creepy Encounters, and Paranormal. So, I'm very excited.
It's been a hot second since we've come to the table with like actual material. Like, I'm very excited.
I'm very excited as well.
As much as I have enjoyed just ranting and being like a complete menace.
Yes, this is going to be refreshing and fun.
Yeah.
Spooky and delicious.
Yeah, so get some candy, put on your costume, whatever you're doing to get ready for today. If you're going to go to a party, be responsible if you're of that age. If you're a young person, why are you listening to this? This is
what qualifies as a young person.
Like, mom
Ages
still helped you with your
0
costume.
to 17. We have one listener that age, I think.
We actually, you know that the majority of our listeners, are females in the Spotify categorization.
Girls, gays, and theys, you mean.
Exactly. Which I just fucking love. I eat it up. I'm so happy.
I love watching that female percentage up.
It was pretty even for a while, and then all of a sudden it was like 80+% is the girls, gays, and theys. And I am here for it.
Slay.
To
they.
Thank you. You're so right.
You're very brave, Ken.
Thank you, Barbie.
Flawless.
So,
okay. Y'all got your popcorn?
Strap in.
With your strap on.
Strap in with your strap on. I hope it's Halloween themed. Is it a magic wand?
It better be.
Boner?
Is it the Elder Wand? Anyway, moving on.
You missed my boner joke.
Oh, wait, what?
I said, is it a boner? Anyway.
Boner.
Anyway, let's get to the content. This is getting out of hand.
We can't go on like this.
We can't. Okay. This is, okay, so Ouija board, have you
Ouija board? I have never.
Ouija board, I have never. You've not partook?
No.
Okay.
A little part of me is intrigued, but I also don't think I ever want to fuck with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
The smart part of me is like,
I know.
Leave that alone.
100%.
We can ghost hunt.
I think of my brain is like either the most terrifying thing that could happen would happen, or it'd be like the Goatman Bridge. When I always think of that
Yes.
BuzzFeed Unsolved episode where they go to the bridge. But yeah, I have never used a Ouija board. Growing up in Christian households, of course, this is the devil's work, okay?
Right.
You don't get near a Ouija board, anything like that. It's just completely demonic and everything. Which, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say it is or isn't. I could, you know, there are things in this world that we will never understand. We want answers.
Wiser words were never spoken.
But yeah, I advise to maybe
not.
Maybe stop and think. Is it
and
thoughtful?
roll.
Is it honest?
Oh no.
But anyway, I still find Ouija board stories pretty interesting and
Same.
fucking scary sometimes. So I have some spooky ones. I have some funny ones to lighten the mood. The first one I have is from throwit_Amita.
Okay.
From 2 years ago.
Throw_it_back!
Throw it_back, baby! Sorry, Amita. We just defiled your username.
Defiled. Eh.
So, this one was scary to me. My mom and aunt used a board after their dad died. He had remarried, but had told his daughters that he was leaving them a few things in his will, including some money. His second wife was the executor and was saying he hadn't left them money, etc., etc. In parentheses, sorry, I can't remember exactly what she said. Anyway, Mom and her sister thought it was possible that money wasn't left to them after all, like second wife said, but my aunt was really strapped for cash and they felt like it was also possible second wife was withholding information and money. They apparently managed to get their dad via the Ouija board and asked him whether he had left them money in his will. It spelt out a 3-letter acronym for a bank, then a series of numbers. Turns out he did have a bank account with money in it intended for his daughters. The account matched the bank acronym and account number. This one spooked me because the details were a surprise to Mom and my aunt. I don't know how they could have gotten that info out of thin air.
Oh my god. That's some fucking tea right there.
Isn't that fucking weird?
That is crazy.
It's definitely one of those things where it's like, how do you explain that?
No, literally, like, okay. Alright.
Like, that can't be coincidence. But how else? Like, what? What? Huh?
What?
Hello?
Oh my God, that is wild.
I know.
This is my first one from Creepy Encounters subreddit by user Indiana97. Creep hiding from me in the dark, saying my dog's name in a high-pitched voice.
Shut up! No.
This happened a couple of years ago. I, 26 female, was walking my dog, Indy, in my local field. It was dark, but it wasn't late. It was wintertime in the UK, so maybe 6 p.m. So the field is used mainly for rugby/football, but is completely free to walk through whenever. It is also surrounded by houses and streetlights on the roads, but the field itself is dark. So I had brought a torch with me, mainly so I didn't trod in any dog shit. I've come in one entrance of the field and I'm following a path that leads to another exit/entrance. I use the field to make a loop back around on the road and back to my house, giving my dog some off-lead time whilst in the field. Anyway, as I'm walking up the field, I notice a figure walk in the entrance/exit I was going to use to leave. I keep my eye on this figure as they have very dark clothing on and their hood up. I'm shining my torch as I'm walking so I know the person knows I'm there as it's very obvious. At first I wasn't nervous, more so just being vigilant. Indy is a wonderful German Shepherd, so as you can imagine, I feel pretty safe with her. It wasn't until I saw the person duck down behind a bush that I absolutely froze. I was about 200 feet from the exit, but would have had to walk past the bush, they hid behind to get to it. I call Indy over and get her back on the lead so she's close. By this point, she's also hyper alert due to the person behind the bush. With that, I hear a weird high-pitched voice that sounded like they were saying my dog's name. I assume they heard me call her. They said it 3 to 4 times in this long-out, high-pitched voice. It's clearly coming from the person hiding. Fuck that. Luckily, Indy wasn't reacting to it, as it probably barely sounded like her name. I had a moment of, shall I fight or flight? I either run past the bush and try for the exit, turn around back into the dark field and make for the other exit, or confront this motherfucker. Indy at this point is hackles up, ears up, and very alert in front of me, all while still maintaining a wonderful sense of calm. Good dog.
What a good pupper.
I went with number 3. I confronted that motherfucker. I mustered up every bit of courage and confidence I had and shouted at the top of my voice, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Nice.
Trying to scare a young woman. The hooded man came out of the bush very quickly without saying anything, and I said the same thing again. "What the fuck are you doing trying to scare a young woman?" I'm so glad my voice didn't shake or break when I said it. I was so terrified at this point. He started to stutter and said, I thought you were someone I knew." And I answered back, "Who the fuck hides from someone they think they know in a dark field?" After that, he apologized a couple times and continued to skulk down the rest of the field and then I made a sweep.
What a total degenerate.
God knows what his intentions were. Maybe he thought I had a smaller dog and was going to try and attack me. But yeah.
Hello?
Bitch, what the literal fuck are you doing? Go to prison.
What
for
the
being a
hell?
fucking creep. I know. I mean, thank God she had a dog, because
yeah.
if
Oh
somebody
my
started
gosh.
high pitch calling my dog's name, I think I would cry and just curl into a ball and cease to exist.
And she knew where this guy was. Could you imagine how fucking scary it would be if you didn't know where it was coming from and you just heard, dude,
Get
what the fuck?
Fucking life?
Who does that? Who
Literally
does
get a
that?
fucking life. What is wrong with you? Ugh.
That's so gross.
Stop messing with women when they're literally just trying to fucking live.
exist. Yeah. How about you go crawl in a hole and stay there forever?
Yeah. How about you don't fucking show your face around these parts? Bitch! Slay.
Gross.
Indy, though.
Yeah, what a good dog.
What a good bub.
We don't deserve dogs.
No, we don't.
So, the next one I have is from Big Sweater Energy Time.
Excellent vibes.
The first and only time I ever used one, I was a teenager playing on it with a friend on my back porch. I didn't know of anyone who had died really, except I remembered from an old photo on the wall a great aunt named Neil.
Okay.
Neal.
Okay.
Yeah. The name Neil stuck with me because it was a boy's name. So I try to talk to a great Aunt Neil, but when I speak, I say, without hesitation or control, Aunt Connie. I thought, that's weird. I don't have an Aunt Connie. I try again and say, quote, I'm trying to speak with, and mentally saying the word Neil, I say Aunt Connie again. It was an involuntary response. Very weird, but we moved on and kept playing. When my mom got home from running errands, she asked how our game was going. I replied, it's fine, except I keep trying to talk to Great Aunt Neil, but kept saying Connie, which is so weird because I don't have an Aunt Connie, end quote. I still remember my mom's face in that moment. It turns out I did have an Aunt Connie. She was a baby who died of SIDS decades before I was born. My mom almost named me after her.
Bro!
I went on to have extreme paranormal experiences that continue to this day, actually. I think it opened a door that I haven't been able to close since. Edit. The scariest things that have ever happened to me were from when I was a moody 15 to 18-year-old girl that seemed to really energize my surroundings, and lots of scary things happened. I saw people, heard my name whispered in my ear at night multiple times, heard footsteps daily, and heard a voice mimic my father's and walk around the kitchen. That one convinced me that we were broken into, and I stayed outside until my boyfriend came to get me. Of course, there was nobody there. My brother moved back into the family house after college and confirmed he also heard a voice mimic our father's and walk around the kitchen. He didn't offer this info. I had to pull it out of him over dinner years later. We independently experienced this and didn't know it. In college, I saw a girl standing over my roommate's bed in the middle of the night. I woke up the next day and was like, hey, who was that? Roomie was like, oh, hell no. She and I still talk about it today. We were on a sorority hall at the time, so I dismissed it initially. It only hit me later that I didn't recognize her or see her legs.
Excuse me? I am obsessed when it's two people having separate experiences and they never talked about it until years later, and then it's confirmed, and it's so, oh my god, it shivers me timbers in a way that I love.
The other weirdest thing in college was somebody kept getting into bed next to me. Never touched me, but the mattress went down with their weight. That one spooked me.
Fuck that. Also love the thought of seeing somebody, wait, you say standing on her roommate's bed?
Standing over my roommate's bed in the middle of the night.
Who was that? What do you mean?
She didn't have legs? You didn't recognize her?
Yeah, now that you say you don't know who that was, I'm thinking about it, and she didn't have legs.
Oh, you're right.
Excuse me?
I didn't recognize that person. Also, she didn't have legs.
Hey, homie, who was that?
A roomie was like, oh, hell no. Dude.
Fuck that. In every way.
And then the fact that, like, her Ouija board story, too, was, like, Aunt Connie. And then she did actually have an Aunt Connie that died before she was born.
That's cool. Honestly, that's really cool.
That's crazy to me. That's another
have
thing
that
that's
connection.
That's like, unless that was completely made up, how do you explain that? You know?
Literally. I mean, like, why the hell would she even think of that? That's so crazy.
Right?
I love it.
Yeah, I love the whole two people having a shared experience thing, too. It's so, like, oh my god, are you kidding me? It probably helps to not feel crazy about your experience, too. Like, corroborate that.
Oh, seriously, you're like, everybody's gonna think I'm fucking crazy, like... Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah. That's fucking... Mimics scare the fucking fuck out of me. Or doppelgangers.
I think I found a few...
No!
But I didn't save them. I didn't end up saving them. When I was reading through them, I was like, I gotta be fucking careful how many of these I tell in a row. Otherwise, we're gonna be not sleeping.
We are going to... Yeah.
So I tried to choose ones that weren't, like, absolutely horrifying, but still nice and spooky and creepy.
I know.
Okay, so this is from Let's Not Meet, and the user is Francisco MP. This happened about 20 years ago. I was 9 years old at the time, but my parents have also told me their side of the story on a bunch of different occasions, so that should help. My parents are both biologists. They met at work, and from there, it's history. The place where they worked at the time was a government building dedicated to biology research used in government projects turned towards the public, meaning they were the ones studying the environment and making environmental protection laws around their studies. This being a massive old government building, it always had a security guard present day and night. During the day, these security guards would mostly just stay at the reception and greet people, but at night they would go do their rounds and make sure there were no intruders because of all the science equipment and computers kept in the building. One of these guards is the Let's Not Meet guy. Initially, he seemed like the nicest person. He was really nice to me, and frankly, all the memories I have from him before this were really nice. He would greet me and talk to me in the nicest way every time my parents brought me to work. He would make me paper airplanes, which he was surprisingly good at, and throw them around with me, and he would stay with me at reception in the days my parents had to work into the night. Obviously, for me, that would get really boring, really, really fast, so he'd keep me company and entertain me. Mostly we would talk, play with paper planes, and watch TV. It all seemed nice enough for my parents to trust him with me, which was probably their biggest mistake. One night, my parents had to work even later than usual. I think it was around 10 p.m. and they were still at it, so this guy, who was on the night shift, decided to take me around the building with him to do his rounds. We started on the top floor, checking all of the rooms and the exterior part of the roof. Every room was so dark, I'd always stay a little behind and wait for him to turn on the lights. Then we stepped down to the second floor, where my parents' office and labs were. We checked the opposite side of the building, going into labs with massive extractors, microscopes, and every kind of science equipment you could think of. We walked down the stairs to the first floor, where most of the administration rooms were. I still remember seeing some maps on the walls and embalmed fish everywhere serving as decorations. First floor was all clear, so it was time to check the 2 basement levels. I thought it would have made sense to check the labs on the right side first, as the left side had a flight of stairs at the end leading up to where my parents were. But for some reason, he decided we'd go check that side first. We checked all the labs, but I noticed his pace was accelerating and he was starting to look and sound happier. Excited, even. Once again, we checked all the labs, all the corners from one end to the other, turning the lights on ahead of us and turning them off behind us when we left. When we got to the last area, he turned all the lights on and we went inside. There were 3 separate offices on each side of the lab, and on the first one, he hurried towards the printer, opened it up, took out 2 pieces of paper, and made 2 quick paper airplanes. That's when everything changed. He picked up one of the planes, went outside of the office, and threw it towards the end of the room. Then he told me the one he threw was mine, and we could throw them around in there. I ran to the other side of the room to pick up my plane, excited to play with it, and suddenly the lights went off. When I turned around to check what was happening, I saw him getting out of the lab, turning the lights off, and locking the door. I ran to the door, punched it, and kicked it while screaming for him to open, panic taking over me because of how scared I was of being in the dark at the time. I would not be okay. I think that would actually, genuinely scar me. Through the glass of the door, I could see him scurrying away in the corridors, turning the lights off as he went and disappearing after turning a corner. I'm pretty sure that everything I felt and every shadow and creepy monster I saw in there while waiting was a part of my imagination because of how scared I was. I balled up against a corner and could see shadows moving around me in the dark. I could only cry, lost without knowing what was happening and why he was doing that. My parents finished work eventually, and when they did, they packed up their things and made their way to the lobby to pick me up and go home. When they got there, the security guard was at reception, but I was nowhere to be found. They panicked, of course, must have shouted 100 different cuss words at the guy, and I'm not sure how my dad didn't murder him right there. Seriously. But when they first asked him where the hell I was and what he had done with me, he simply said that he had gone to do the rounds with me and I must have gotten lost somewhere. Bitch! This is a building that would take you about an hour and a half to check from top to bottom, even if you're rushing. So must have gotten lost somewhere is not exactly helpful. They looked for hours without finding me. It was only when I saw a light at the far end of the corridors leading to the lab I was in that I got the courage to stand up, rush towards the door, and start punching it as hard as I could. They finally found me there and made the guard unlock the door to get me out. Yeah.
What sort of sick prank is that?
So it says, of course, my parents made a complaint against the guard. When they did, the guy started being investigated. He was fired and arrested. Not because of locking me away where he probably hoped no one would find me, but because he had been partnering up with other criminals to steal computers and equipment from the building to sell in some shady thing.
Is that why he locked them in there? So that
I'm not convinced that locking a crying child in the middle of the darkness hidden away in some room is exactly the most normal behavior if you're not trying to hide them and then come get them later when everyone has left. But I was just thinking about that from the perspective of a child who was terrified of the dark.
Yeah.
And this poor kid. And thank God he was okay.
That would be traumatizing.
Being in there for hours.
Oh,
fuck that guy.
That is.
I hope that guy got his fucking.
That's deranged behavior. That is did he lock them in there so that he can steal stuff without I have to. There's this little kid around. I can't steal anymore. Or
right. It seems so weird.
I don't like that. I didn't like that. Thanks. I hate it.
You're welcome. Pretty terrifying, pretty horrible. Let's not meet for fucking sure.
Fuck. Well, mine is just gonna sort of like change gears a little bit. This is from Punk Pillywiggin.
Slay.
One time a ghost called me and my friend sluts. Frowny face.
Is this written by Ryan Bergara?
He was from the 1920s and didn't like the way we dressed. And then there's a comment that says, ancient incel. And then another comment that says, boomer ghost.
Oh my god.
But I just really like the whole, I don't know if I'll be able to show you. The frowny face. A ghost called me and my... frowny
That's so
face.
Funny.
It really hurt my feelings.
Oh my god.
There
Honestly, that's the kind of evidence I want to get.
Right?
Okay, let's see here. User Underpants Bandit. The worst Halloween hide and seek ever. So, speaking of antique stores, my husband Jim and I own an antique business in a big old bizarre barn of a building. 5 floors, multiple other tenants, including a restaurant. Halloween was a Monday last year. We locked up the business at 5 p.m. and went to an early dinner across town. Then we got a call from our security monitoring company at 6:30. A motion detect on the lower level, then another. We left in a tearing hurry, but figured it's a bird or a rat. I don't know. Maybe a cat. It's way too early for a break-in. I went inside the main level upstairs and disarmed the alarm and started fumbling noisily with the keys and a big iron gate, one of many that separate the floors at night. Jim checked the perimeter outside of sign for a break-in. Nothing. Doors and windows intact. Definitely, absolutely a bird or a rat or a cat. Dusk was long gone. The shadows had settled in and taken over. Just wardrobes loomed in the dark. Wardrobes and nothing more, right?
Stop it! Stop! You're trying to freak me out!
Painting a really good picture. I headed down below to the location of the alarm. I'm accustomed to the building after dark, so I just turned on my phone light, not the overheads, and walked around boldly like I own the place. I looked in the corner with the motion detector. Nothing, just its red eye blinking mindlessly at me. No rats, no cats, no birds. I turned and went the other way while Jim poked around a few aisles over. And there it was, a fucking burglary kit sitting in the middle of the floor. Bolt cutters, fire extinguisher, just sitting there, waiting. I have never gotten a bigger case of sheer terror so fast. After all, there was no broken window or door, so he was still there in the dark with me. I hissed, Jim, 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 please, please, please. And he didn't hear me. I literally couldn't scream. Just like in those stupid goddamn dreams, my voice stuck. Just me, the spotlit burglary tools, and a hostile presence lurking in the dusty shadows watching while I whispered for someone to save me. Finally, 1,000 years or maybe 10 seconds later, Jim wondered why I had taken root in the hallway and came to see. He saw what I was frozen and pointing at and was like, oh fuck. We bolted out the front door to call 911 and wait. We abandoned the building to the burglar. An eternal 5 minutes later, the police showed up and were initially pretty unimpressed with our find of the crowbar and fire extinguisher, which, bitch, how is that unimpressive? The fucking security alarm's going off.
Fuck the police.
Until we pulled up the security footage that revealed the actual horror. The face of my new sleep paralysis demon. I wonder if I can just show it.
Stop! You're scaring me! Stop it! You're trying to scare me! I don't want to see any faces! I don't want to see faces!
Okay, wait, hold on. I don't even think... It's a picture of a white man with a baseball cap on backwards, and he's just wearing... I can't tell what kind of mask it is, but he just has a mask on his face. Not like a balaclava, like a mask.
A white man! No!
Exactly.
But
Doesn't matter what the situation is. If there's like a break-in and you see the footage of whoever did it, it's always fucking creepy. Even if they look like the most regular ass person.
it's still creepy. It's
It almost makes
a
it more
stranger.
creepy.
It's a stranger in your space.
Like, this is just some guy.
Unexpectedly. Of course it's creepy.
Ugh, gross. So, this guy, as is obvious, he's built like a lean, mean brick shithouse. He crouched on a landing behind a bookcase when we closed and watched me and my staff lock up. Bided his time, then calm as could be, he walked out and went to the men's restroom in the hallway downstairs. That area isn't set for motion detect for a variety of reasons. He spent a while in there moving around with the door open. He constructed the mask using one of ours and a fake flower wreath to hold it. He looked right into the camera barefaced, then put the mask on, stared at it fixedly in his mask for a time, and pulled his gloves on. Which there is a video, I think, or a picture of him just barefaced staring into the security camera.
Stop.
He stacked a few solid body vintage suitcases in front of a tall iron gate and hopped right over like it was nothing. He ran down the hall, which triggered the 6:30 silent alarm, and looped the floor. He ran back into the hall and moved a ladder to hop back to the other side of the gate, and bizarrely just repeated this whole thing a few times. I think he was probably testing to see how fast he could get over the gate. Then he went to the basement, wormed over a 15-inch gap over yet another iron gate, which there's a picture of the gate, and it's like, what? How the hell? He was moving fast, up and over, back and forth, upstairs and downstairs, parkour style almost. Then he got the tools out and peeled apart one of our steel lock boxes with the crowbar and stole a handful of our keys to access showcases. At this point, he heard me fumbling with the gate and keys upstairs. He ditched the stolen keys and tools and hid, watching me while he waited in the dark. We exited to call 911 and he ran back to the basement. In the basement, there is access to a dirt tunnel that circles the perimeter of the building.
What building is this? Fucking Alcatraz or something?
He broke the door
just
open.
A dirt tunnel. This is like a survival video game or something.
No, literally. Like, no fucking way there's a dirt tunnel. Shut up.
What the fuck?
Spiders the size of dinner plates live in there. He had no light. It is muddy and dank. In a word, petrifying. There is a tiny exit hatch. If you walk the whole thing and take the multiple turns, that dumps you into the busy kitchen of a restaurant, whereupon one would need to stroll past the line cooks, out into the restaurant proper with cameras, and then one could leave their front door, plastered with mud, which does leave tracks, speaking from experience. When we found it, there was his clear entrance into the tunnel, but no exit tracks. No muddy footprints, nobody walking out on the restaurant cameras, and the cooks noticed nothing. Reviewing the footage, timing it all, tracing his path back from camera to camera, and searching the building carefully.
What if he had like a change of stuff at the end of the tunnel that he could just change into really quickly?
Fucking disguise?
Like
Scooby-Doo style?
Yeah, like change your muddy clothes and stuff for clean ones.
By the end, all of us, including the police, were starting to lose our collective chill and freak out. There was no chill, even when the guys with guns were rattled. Jim and the two officers had no choice but to walk the dirt tunnel. The cops took one look and were like, absolutely not. Fucking bitch-ass little pussy cops. Jim insisted, and so they made him walk in front. They made it about halfway through the tunnel before they were literally like, fuck no. And then they just went out. And they were like, fuck these spiders. Hello? A man just tried to burgle this place and escape, and you're just gonna be like,
and
no, there's spiders.
I don't want to get my Louboutins muddy.
Oh, fuck, that was good. They gave Jim the okay to board up both ends of the tunnel, and thus the story ends. Pictures got spread widely, but no useful leads, despite the decent face shot.
Hello?
And they just never figured out who it was. And he fucking stared right into the camera. There's no way no one knows.
And like
who
hid in
that
the
is.
darkness and watched. And
okay, I wonder
he
if we can send you the
obviously
picture
knew
of
what
the
he was
gate.
doing. You know what? I really don't like that.
No.
Thanks. I hate it.
Me either. Really gross. Really disgusting. And on Halloween and him wearing the mask. Stop.
Wait,
Stop.
did I miss that? It was
on Halloween. It was last year, actually.
Hello? This
I know,
guy,
I'm like...
This was premeditated.
This guy knew what he was
doing. That's fucking terrifying. I
can't imagine sitting there
thank you.
looking at that burglary kit and being like, oh,
he's still here.
He's probably like feet from me now.
He's still here.
I'm gonna literally piss and shit. Thankfully,
I'd be like, you better leave! If you're next to me, you better leave. I fart when I'm scared. I don't, but some people do.
I fart when I'm scared.
I fart when I'm scared. I can't control it. It's just a nervous reaction. Some people do. Some people do. Thanks, that was horrible. I hated that. Anytime. Okay. This is from Reddit user KatieCat0214. Story time. This happened in college, mid-80s. Best friend, who was not yet then my roommate, and I got to playing around with a homemade Ouija board. Dee and I made it out of basic notebook paper with a straw as a planchette.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Broke college days. Such fun.
When you're so bored, you have no choice but to make your own Ouija board.
Ouija board. We got...
I'll just be bored. It's fine.
Right. But I'll just be bored in other ways.
It's fine.
How about that? We got in touch with two spirits who claimed to be from World War II, Jonathan and Wade. Being the dumb college kids we were, we begged them to send us a sign. They didn't want to, said it would cost a lot of energy and might open a door to other less good spirits. No, we said. Send us a sign.
No. Please do it.
Please.
Also, I'm like, did they really say all that?
No. Hands on the planchette. No, we insist. I insist. Please. We log off, go to sleep, wake up, go out, run errands, return to the dorm room. Message light is blinking on the now antique answering machine. Scroll through. One message in the middle is, quote, Wade ... loves ... Katie, end quote. We knew no Wades.
Wade.
No one...
fuck right off back to the spirit realm, Wade.
Yeah. No one in Dee's family, in my family, is named Wade. We had no friends, professors, fellow students named Wade. So we proceeded to freak out, replayed it, kept freaking out. OMG, this must be their side. Then we had the bright idea to bring over our best male buddy and let him hear it. He lived across the way in the boys' dorms. Dee and I run downstairs. She runs and grabs Jay. We run back upstairs. Message light is still blinking. We go to play the messages and that particular message in the middle is gone. Never came back. Cue more freaking out.
Sick.
Cue more freaking out. Cue a stern warning from Jay about messing with Ouija boards.
Yeah.
Dee and I kept doing it.
Okay, sure.
Dee and I kept doing it, but I noticed my hands going cold all the way up to my elbows. I felt drained, no energy. Then one weekend, my roommate went home. I went out, returned home around dusk. Walked in, and the dorm was freezing cold. In May, in the deep south.
Oh, okay.
I walked in and saw at the window a giant hand that knocked 3 times through the glass. We lived on the 3rd floor.
Fuck.
I took one giant step back, said nothing, thought nothing, turned off the light, locked the door, and ran down to Dee's dorm room. Cue more freaking out. I told Dee I'm spending the night here, even if I have to sleep on the floor. We relaxed. Then I suddenly realized, crap, I need my contact solution and clothes. We have to go back. Dee said give it an hour or two more, so we did. Went back in. The room was completely normal. No heaviness, no freezing temps. Dee and I ripped up the homemade Ouija board, clipped up the straw planchette into pieces, and never did it again. I know what I saw. I saw a hand knocking on my window through the glass. It moved the window blinds on the inside. And we lived on the 3rd floor.
No, it didn't.
Something wanted in.
No.
Never again.
If I saw a hand outside my 3rd floor window, I would never sleep again.
Nope. That'd be the end of sleep for me. The end of any
so
peace.
Scary. Also, isn't it a thing to like not destroy Ouija boards? Like, doesn't that sometimes make it worse? Or I've heard, if you believe in that kind of thing, that destroying a Ouija board might not be the best idea.
A lot of people said that like they buried it, or like, but sometimes they would bury it and then it would end up in their closet again.
The amount of stories I've heard of people, I heard one in particular, I don't know if it was on a podcast, but it was like the same Ouija board, like they tried to throw it away so many times and it always ended up back in their home.
Yeah.
Like, that's not normal, dog.
No, that's the furthest from normal. I
mean, I guess you have no choice but to kind of accept it, but
most
like,
objects don't do that.
I just don't understand how people can be so chill. It's like, yeah, it just wouldn't leave that Ouija board wouldn't leave me alone.
I guess it just wanted to stay. Hello?
What? Rewind.
Pause.
What
No
the
thanks. No thanks.
Okay, I've got one from r/paranormal. Seeking advice / confirmation for possible shadow entity bothering my daughter.
Okay, done.
Bye.
Okay. Bye! I'm leaving forever!
Okay, username Mama's Mia. Great name.
Sorry. This is really bad timing, but I have an extension that gives me cute cats whenever I open a new window.
What's this one? Her Majesty the Empress Tops! I miss Gluttonous Chalupa.
Gluttonous Chalupa, you will live on forever in our hearts. Okay. Shadow entity bothering her daughter.
To start this off, I'm 21 and a single mom to a beautiful 9-month-old. This is a literal infant. I live in a granny flat at the back of my parents' property. The previous tenants were the previous owner's daughter and 2 granddaughters. Apparently the daughter, a single mom, often had fleeting relationships that would move in and out of the flat as well. When I moved in last year, September, I was still pregnant. The very first night, something watched me while I slept.
Hello?
I couldn't see it, but I could feel its presence. My cat wouldn't stop staring in the direction of the door as well. Now, I didn't...
I'm gonna cry!
Now, I didn't know this, but there's a motion sensor light in one of the top corners of my room, facing the door. The reason I didn't know this is because it would turn on and stay on even when neither I nor my cat were moving. This happened again the next afternoon, and I asked my mom to bless the house, as that was normally something we do when we moved into a new house or weird stuff happened. After my mom blessed my place, things were fine again until October, when I started seeing shadow people in my parents' house. I could see and feel them watching me, and I felt they were angry that I ignored them. Like, I don't know how I got to that conclusion, but it just felt that way. After my daughter was born, my mother blessed the flat again, and everything felt fine again. Whenever anyone comes into my flat, they say they feel like they're not alone, that something is watching them, and that it is angry. This all brings me to that past 3 months when my baby started with what we thought was sleep regression. She would wake up screaming bloody murder like she was hurt and wouldn't fall back asleep unless I held her and went to go sleep on the couch in the TV room with her. I'm at this point exhausted, frustrated, and I often finding myself getting extremely angry to the point where I walk away and just have to scream somewhere, which I can't help but feel ashamed about. Now, I recently started dating again, and my boyfriend comes to sleep over on the weekends. He has an amazing relationship with my daughter and treats her like his own. When he's over, it feels like the thing that's in my flat is somewhat appeased. My daughter doesn't wake up like at all, and the very night my boyfriend leaves, she's a scream machine again. She hasn't known him for all that long and isn't very attached to him either, so that strikes out the possibility of missing him, as well as the fact that this happens Sunday to Thursday every night. My mom and I theorized that the entity in my house was created by some residual energy from the previous single mom. I heard there's a name for that kind of entity, but I can't remember what the name is. Other things I've experienced are something calling my nickname, and when I go looking, no one is there.
Stop! Stop!
Yeah, bad smells. Things just go missing and reappear in weird places, mostly religious stuff, and knocks all over the place. Forgot to add that when I pick my daughter up from her cot, which is right next to my bed, she starts looking around frantically and hyperventilates for minutes after. Absolute hate.
I'm gonna go.
And that was a recent one. That was literally 9 days ago. So I feel so bad.
I didn't like that.
I didn't like that
I
either.
didn't like that at all. I completely understand. You guys, Pearl texted me yesterday. It was like, I found some stuff that I think you'll like / hate.
It's pretty good,
You're
but
right.
it's also terrible.
You're right. I hate it.
Poor baby. I'm also like, I love the thought of somebody saying her name or her nickname or whatever was like an afterthought. Because
I know,
bitch,
she's like,
that
oh,
would be the scariest
she's like,
thing of
also,
everything.
This is happening too.
Also, it knows my name.
She was so casual about that. Like, oh, I started seeing shadow figures at my parents' house.
And, like,
Anyway.
Foul smells and knocks.
Anyway.
Fuck that.
I need to jump into a waterfall.
I need to get cleansed spiritually. Interesting though, and like the correlation of fleeting relationships and then like the baby being calmed down. But I don't know. It's just very interesting.
It is really
like,
weird.
What is going on here?
Something
I don't think I like it.
Something funky.
Something ooky.
Okay. This one is from Abyssal Remix, and it says, I've never been much of a fan of Ouija boards, though I have had a good amount of paranormal experiences. I think they're a load of crap. Ouija boards. But my mom bought me one for Christmas when I was younger, and we played with it often, never getting the planchette to move, but we always had a recorder going. I lived in the basement in a small carpeted room, and when you exited the door, it was cement floors. So we had the door to my room closed, lights off, and candles on. But the light in the basement was on, and one of my friends asked, if you're here, turn off the light to the basement. Nothing happened, but when we listened back to the recording, we heard footsteps on the carpet, getting more distant before footsteps sounded on what sounded like the cement floor.
Okay.
It was like the spirit walked from the table to the light.
No, I don't think it did.
And then it ends with, pretty cool experience.
I mean, honestly, that as far as haunting experiences go, that was pretty casual.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that's fine.
It could be a lot worse. It could be fucking
like what you just said.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah. And then I have there's this one person that says, like, why do we use Ouija boards for scary things instead of learning secrets from the dead? I'm sure Einstein or Tesla have a few interesting ideas since they've passed. And that just, like, goes into the whole, like, Ouija boards. Like, they didn't used to be considered this, like, evil, scary thing, you know?
Right,
like,
right.
Like, that kicked up after, like, The Exorcist or whatever. Whatever movie it was. that kind of like made them explode in popularity. But like before, they were just used typically as like spiritual tools.
Yeah, I think also attempts to speak to the dead, yeah, were just in general a lot more normal back in the day.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm also like, I feel like usually when you're talking to someone through a Ouija board, talking to a spirit, it's usually like either like an ancestor of sorts, someone from your family, or someone connected to you, or like a demon.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone could just hit up, I almost said Mark Twain, Einstein.
I don't know if Mark Twain could just, like, come to your random, like, your slumber party.
Like, right.
This is like, Mark Twain.
With the girlies summoning Mark Twain, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of, I know you were looking into Zozo and stuff, but Zozo is a really, like, popular Ouija board demon, and the amount of times, like, stories that I read where, like, people would insult Zozo, or, like, not even, and Zozo would just spell out, "fuck you." Was like, so many stories had that, where it was like, oh, it's Zozo, and then he says, "fuck you."
Dude, that is so funny.
It is very, very funny.
Zozo's like, stop fucking summoning me. Stop! Mm-hmm. I'm resting.
Yep. I also have this other one that's just a single sentence in quotes that says, "I'll suck your dick through this board, big boy."
Oh my god. Brittany Broski? Can I just mention that clip of Brittany Broski doing the Trump impression and being like, "Nobody needs dick more than me." Have you seen that?
Yeah. Nobody needs dick.
Thank you.
More than me.
That was much better.
Have you seen the one where she's talking about, like, I went to the bathroom the other day. It was single ply toilet paper. Where was the Charmin? At the White House. At the White House, we only have Charmin.
I just remember her saying, "Where's the Charmin?"
Yeah. Where's the Charmin? I do like the nobody needs dick like me.
As much as I am incredibly scarred from the Trump presidency and the thought of another one, anyway, that's too spooky to get into.
Yeah, that's too scary for today.
I still love a Trump impression. Like, because they're so funny.
So funny. I don't know. It's so anytime someone says huge, huge.
It's gonna be huge.
Huge. I can't help it.
The arms.
Huge.
The dino arms. Beep, beep. Focus on me, you little slut. Focus on me.
Audio listeners, she's talking about her camera. Because I'm already focusing on her.
Listeners, I'm talking to you.
Focus on me, you little slut.
Whatever.
A ghost called me and my friend sluts. Frowny face. Oh my goodness. Well, if you have another spooky one, then I'll close out really quick, or just do my last one before that. This is from Marka Wool, and it says, "The being we contacted was asking my friend for her permission for it to be born as her child. We noped the fuck out."
What the No.
Mm-hmm.
No thanks. No thanks. I hate that with every fiber of my being.
Yeah, I'm gonna start dissociating now. At least it was asking permission. Like, we love consent, but that's a really creepy thing to say.
It really is.
Can I be born as your child?
Like, let me think about that.
No, I don't think I want a demon baby. I'm not. No,
I think I might be rethinking children.
No. Yeah. No,
like,
thank you. That's gross.
Okay, Furious Talons posted this on r/paranormal. It's a good name.
Just choked on my water. Sorry.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm crying a little bit.
Oh, no.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
This
so I
horrible
can't
timing.
stop looking in Jules' black voids.
Oh.
Okay. Furious Talon says, I've told this story before, but I like sharing it. I want to preface this by saying that everyone in the household except my mother has seen, heard, or experienced something weird in our house on multiple occasions. Our house is as old as I am, so it has no history that would warrant it. Before our neighborhood was built, it was woods and some farmland. When I was in high school, I'd like to say maybe sophomore year, I came home and went to my room. It was sometime after 3 p.m., so there was daylight. On the way to my bedroom is a short hallway where my sister's room and the bathroom are across from each other before reaching my room. My sister had moved out for college, so she wasn't there. I always got a feeling like I was being watched from her room ever since I was little, whether she was there or not. I had never seen or heard anything, though, just the feeling was prevalent. I avoided ever looking at her room because it creeped me out so much. Our family dog liked to sleep on the bed in there, so I figured nothing bad was around, at least. On this day, I dared to glance into the room as I walked past it, and my eye caught movement from the closet door that wasn't shut all the way. It opened a little bit, and I saw a person peeking out at me. I stopped and froze for a few seconds, and the door opened a little bit more, and the person, I thought, looked a lot like me. It had my body shape and hair, but where the face should have been was just blank pale skin. No. It gets worse. No eyes, nose, or mouth. It wore clothes that reminded me of my sister, not ones I'd wear. I remember the shirt had a stripe or pattern on it, but I only usually wore graphic tees, so it was like it had combined my body with my sister's clothes. I panicked and bolted to my room, closing my door behind me and hid under my bed sheets. I told it out loud to go away and prayed in my mind I wouldn't see it again. I haven't since. The feeling of being watched from my sister's former bedroom kind of went away after that. It's like it was watching me for years and years in an effort to copy me or my sister. I think it wanted to mess with me. Yeah, I think it wanted to mess with you too. I didn't get bad intentions necessarily from it, but it scared me. I'm pretty sure our dog was sleeping in there when it happened, but I really do not ever want to see it again. No! One would not want to see.
This is understandable, sweetheart.
The thought of seeing a being that was a morph between me and my sister that had no face? Get the fuck out of town.
I'm gonna start crying, actually.
No, like, what the fuck? Also, seeing something in the closet, deep-seated.
That is so gross. Fears. That is so gross.
I hate it.
That was so casual, too. You're like, oh, I saw a person looking at me from the closet.
I read another one that was about a mimic. It was like, I want to say like a husband and wife just living in the apartment, and like the husband saw the wife, he would see like the back of her head kind of thing, like mimic, and like it would look very similar to her, but like maybe dressed slightly different than she normally would. And some of the comments were, or one of the comments at least, was like, I have a theory that it's just you from like a slightly different timeline, and like things are just slipping together, and you might be looking at your wife, but it's like just a glance because it's like the wrong timeline. And I'm like, I'm gonna go with that because that's less scary than that bitch turning around and not having a fucking face at all.
Than just like a supernatural entity
copying
just one of your loved ones.
Yeah.
Rocking back and forth.
Absolutely not.
That's so gross. That's so gross. That's disgusting.
I hate that.
I hate that
nasty.
so much.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween, you horde!
You whores.
Whores.
You sons of whores.
Whores. You know what I really want to do one of these Halloweens? I just really want to have the full slutty Halloween experience. Like, I want to dress like a slut.
I want like a fully slutty costume. Like, not this, but like slutty Shrek or something like that.
Oh my god.
Or like sexy Captain Jack Sparrow. You know?
That's regular Jack Sparrow.
Well, yeah. Tittylicious.
But like tittylicious.
Yeah,
with, like,
I want to have my tits out.
Fishnets and like high heel
I gotta
boots.
use these tits for something, honestly, dog.
Yeah, I'd love to have like a slutty costume. Just like go all out one.
Maybe
one
next
time.
year we can have a slutty Halloween party
That'd be so fun.
where the requirement is for your tits to be out. I don't care who you are.
I want to be slutty
Get your tits out.
Gandalf. Dude,
What?
at Ren Fair this year there was a slutty Gandalf, and I was like,
Obsessed.
I love you.
Oh, I want to be the slutty Grinch.
That is such a good idea. Yeah. Yeah.
Ideas are churning.
Yeah, whatever you guys are doing today for Halloween, hopefully you're having fun.
And hopefully we're having fun.
I hope so.
Morgan's gonna be passing out candy to children. I'm gonna
Come here, children! Get your candy!
You know,
I really want to dress up as a witch. And
you want to
just be
borrow my
like,
construction hat?
I want to be the village witch that scares the children. Happy Halloween! Vogue. Yeah, anyway, hopefully you guys have a safe, fun day. Whatever you're doing, be responsible, be safe. Look out for your friends.
Delicious spooky season.
Yes, as we close out the spook.
I hope you enjoyed us talking about the leaves and soup every single episode.
Yes.
Soup talk's not going away.
Soup talk is going to continue, but
soup talk will last through the winter.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed your spooky season and have a great day. A great fun day. Don't eat too much candy now.
Have a great good day.
Happy Halloweenies. I'll suck your dick through this board, big boy. Okay, love you.
Bye.